sojourn through. You are the one that has made it all up, every lifetime. Know you that call the book of life? It is a term from your Judeo-Christian religion. You are the book of life. That's who you are. That is why when two minds come together and are willing to accept their enlightenment, there's really hardly anything to do but have a very good laugh and create from the infiniteness of your being, to play in the drama and choose to play with unlimitedness when you realize you have been playing with limitation. I once said unto some of you within the drama of the dream, "Fear not, for I shall be with you always." And those of you that were a little bit attached to that aspect of the dream have clung onto it. Some of you still hold that your greatest sense of identity is who you were then. And when I said, "Fear not, for I shall be with you always," I did so with a twinkle in my eye, for I can hardly be anywhere else. And when I say I've waited patiently, it means that I simply sit on a park bench in eternity, waiting for you who are in the bus in time to choose to stop and get off and sit down with me. Is all of that making sense? It is rather important. So it's over. The time is at hand. I have never ceased weaving myself in and out of your dreams and dramas to whisper in your ear, "Precious one, remember, remember." Come home means nothing else than to open the eyes of your heart and realize the truth of who you are. Has the drama seemed long and vast? Oh yes, but the more you choose to identify with your unlimitedness, the more the weight of your dream is forgotten. Just as when you open your eyes in the morning and for a moment you shake your head and say, "Oh my goodness," and your heart is still palpitating. You know that feeling. And then you realize, wait a minute, I'm just sitting in my bed. And by the time you get up and take a shower and have a bite to eat, you have forgotten what you have dreamed. Is that not true? But even that is part of the dream. Miracles are valuable only within a dream, and the choice is simple. And I've used this analogy before, and when I have, some have smiled, some have chuckled. It's actually quite literal. It is as though every moment you are walking up to one of what you would call one of your movie theaters, which has many movies going on at the same time on different screens. You select which ticket to buy. That's really how simple it is. One of the movies has been that you've always born once and you're going to die, and thank God that God sent his only begotten Son to die on the cross and save you from your sins. And there are many that cling to the movie and love it, and that's perfectly okay. One of the movies that I am an infinite soul, and boy, have I gone through a million lifetimes, and oh my goodness, when I was in Egypt and all the rest. That too is a movie that many would go cling to. But your reality is simply this. You are the only one standing outside the theater, and so much power is given to you that you can watch them all at once without buying a ticket. You can allow all of them. You can embrace all of them. You can look at the people that are sitting in the little rows entranced by the movie, and you can love them into awakening by being the one who is awake. Does all of that make sense? And that is what you call to do. Now, who is doing the calling? You are calling yourself. Exactly. You will awaken to your own call and no one else's. And if you are here in this room, it's because you have at least begun to hear and answer your own call. And I am here but the aspect of you that is mirror of the deepest truth that lies within you. And you brought me forth. Whew, try preaching that on a Sunday morning. You might have to say, oops, wrong theater. Make sure you duck before the eggs are thrown. No, my dream is so important. I have to insist that my dream is real. Everybody else's is false. A dream is a dream is a dream. And nobody is doing better than anyone else if they are still dreaming. Have you ever had that thought that perhaps some of you have said, you know, a long time ago I used to believe this certain way, but now I know I'm really an infinite soul that's been incarnated a million times. And you believed you made progress. I'm sorry to say that one is either dreaming or one chooses to be awake. There is no other choice and nothing else is occurring. Some of you have been taught, well, there are gray areas. In this sense, there is but black and white, on or off. Love or fear is another way to put it. And therefore I echo to you your own call to choose to be awake now. And now is all there is. Have you ever played the little game during the course of a day, every hour, stopping and asking yourself, where are you and what time it is? You are always here, and it is always now. And the very same choice is in front of you now as was in front of you when you were a priestess in Egypt, a warrior in Strep, a yogi in a cave, a monk in a monastery, a drunk in a western town. Sorry about that one. And it's the same choice that is right in front of you now. Will I choose to be awake? Do you see that we are coming to within the perception of the dream? This is the highest form of teaching that can be given because there is nothing beyond it that can be put into words. It's the last level, if you will. If you want to play that game, it is the last level. And this is what you are coming to because you have chosen to awaken to your own call, to hear it and to follow it. Some of you have heard me say that the bell has been rung. I didn't ring it, you did. Or another level, we rang it together. And as you go out into your journey, really think about this for a moment. You know your journey called your lifetime. Aren't those really very much related to the body? Is it not the body that gets into this car instead of that car and into this bed instead of that bed, that eats this instead of that and all the rest? The mind that you are is embracing all such journeys and all dramas, and that is what again you must come to allow yourself to remember. Those of you that have studied my little work called A Course in Miracles will remember this. The only lesson you have to learn is that there is nothing outside of you. That's it. Learn that and the game is over. Does that bring